Hi, in this video we're going to walk through the process of replacing the AC compressor in a 2004 Honda Accord. This repair also applies to the 2003 through 2007 2.4 liter 4-cylinder Honda Accords. The symptoms I was facing include the engine bogging down whenever the air conditioning was turned on, to the point where the car sounded like it was going to stall. Eventually the air conditioning just stopped working altogether. This is the location of the compressor within the vehicle, and these are the new parts that we're going to install. I'll include links to these parts in the video description. This is the Denso compressor and a TYC condenser. I recommend replacing the condenser at the same time, since a clogged condenser is often what causes a failed compressor. These are a few clips of the new parts installed. Alright, so the first step is to remove the trim from the front of the vehicle. Use a flat-bladed screwdriver or trim removal tool. Then remove the radiator brackets using a 10mm socket. Next, remove the vent shroud and its plastic clip. Now, remove the 10mm bolts holding the fan assembly on. Remove the plastic connectors from the fan assembly. There's one on either side. Then unplug the plastic connectors. There's a pressure sensor on the bottom of the condenser on the lower left as you face the car. Press the clip and remove it. Disconnect the radiator overflow tube. Some radiator fluid is going to leak out on this next step, so position a bucket or catch pan underneath the vehicle to catch it. Then, use the pliers to remove the upper radiator hose clamp, and slide the hose off of the fitting. Position the hose somewhere where it won't leak. Now, carefully remove the fan assembly from the car and set it aside. Use a 10mm socket or wrench to remove the condenser brackets. Unplug the sensor from the condenser. Next, use a 10mm socket to remove the AC lines from the front of the condenser. Next, disconnect the upper AC line on the condenser, again using a 10mm socket. Note that unless your refrigerant has already leaked out, this is pressurized with refrigerant, and this should be captured safely for environmental reasons. Now, remove the old condenser from the vehicle. Before installing the new condenser, remove the bracket from the old one and put it on the new one. Next, remove the pressure switch from the old condenser. Remove the plug from the new condenser. And install the pressure switch using the new O-ring. And snug it up. Now remove the other bracket from the old condenser. This used a rather odd size of 7mm. And the new condenser doesn't have a hole for this anyway, so just remove it. Next, use a 10mm socket to remove the retaining nut on the AC line going into the compressor. Next, use a 10mm socket to remove the other AC line from the compressor. Gently remove these two lines from the compressor. I recommend replacing these O-rings as long as you've got them out. I bought a kit with a couple hundred replacement O-rings in it for this purpose. I'll put a link in the video description. This uses the 9/16 inch by 3/32 inch O-ring. We can now remove the AC line and put fresh O-rings on that one as well. Both sides of this line took a 7/16 inch by 3/32 inch O-ring. Next, use a 10mm socket to remove the protective covers from the ports on the new condenser and position the bracket. Now we can position the condenser and remove the rubber plugs. The condenser sits inside two guide holes at the bottom. Get the condenser seated properly. Then install the 10mm bracket bolt on both sides. Now install the lower AC line into the bottom of the condenser. Use a 10mm socket to tighten it up. Plug in the pressure switch into the port at the bottom of the condenser. Feed the AC line into the vehicle. And attach the line to the upper port on the condenser using a 10mm wrench. Next, reinstall the radiator brackets with their 10mm bolts. The next step is to use a breaker bar and a 12mm socket on the mounting bolts for the AC compressor. Break the bolts loose, then use a socket to remove them most of the way. Next, we'll get at the AC compressor from underneath. Jack up the car and put some jack stands under it. Also, chock the rear wheels for safety. Now locate the bottom two mounting bolts for the compressor. These are 12mm bolts, just like the upper ones. I sprayed some penetrating oil on the one on the right that was quite stiff. Then, remove these bolts all the way out. Now remove the tension from the serpentine belt. Use a 14mm wrench onto the tensioner. Then use a cheater bar to release tension on the belt. They make a serpentine belt installation tool. I'll link to one of those in the description as well. Remove the belt from the power steering pump. Then remove the AC compressor bolts altogether. The compressor is now loose, so feed it out the top of the engine bay and remove it. Here are the old and new compressors side by side. Make sure they look the same. I went with the OEM Denso compressor. I put a little bit of anti-seize onto the mounting bolts before reinstalling. Make sure you put the lower mounting bolts into the compressor before installing the top ones. This is because once it's in place, the lower bolts are too long to fit into the brackets. Feed the new compressor down and into place. Install the upper mounting bolts. Get the final positioning of the compressor and tighten the upper mounting bolts by hand. Then use a 12mm socket to tighten them up. Now go back underneath the vehicle and tighten up the two 12mm bolts. Next, I recommend replacing the Serpentine belt while you're at it, so remove the old belt and replace it with a new one. I use this Gates belt, K070701 belt. I'll include a link to the belt I used in this video's description. Feed the new belt down into the engine bay and put it over the power steering pulley wheel. This is a schematic drawing of the path that the Serpentine belt should take. So weave it around everything as shown, except for the tensioner wheel, which will come last. Use a 14mm wrench and pull the tensioner wheel forward and slide the belt onto it. You can now remove the protective caps from the new compressor. These use a 10mm socket. Next, put a little bit of lubricant onto the O-ring of the air conditioning hose, and position it into the port on the compressor. Lubricate the other line's O-ring as well, and insert it into the port. Install the retention bolt and nut onto the AC lines, and tighten them up. Locate the electrical connector for the compressor and plug it in. Push it in until it clicks. Now, reinstall the fan assembly. It takes a bit of wiggling to get it into place. Continue positioning it until the mounting holes line up. Use a 10mm socket to reinstall the mounting bolts. Next, reconnect the fan electrical connector and slide it onto the mounting tab. Reinstall the vent shroud and its plastic retaining clips. Reconnect the radiator hose and slide the hose clamp back on. Back on the other side, we've already plugged in the compressor. Now plug in the other fan connector. And snap the plastic button back into its hole to hold it in place. Reconnect the radiator overflow hose. Now, replace any radiator fluid that was lost. Press down on the radiator cap to remove it. Pour in coolant until it's full. Use 50-50 pre-mixed coolant. Top off the overflow reservoir to the max fill line if necessary. Now we'll add PAG46 oil to the AC system. Go to the low pressure line and remove the Schrader valve. Add 1 ounce of PAG46 oil. Oil with UV dye is nice in case you need to check for leaks at some point in the future. Use a small funnel. If the oil starts to leak out or won't go in, press the Schrader valve on the high pressure port to relieve the pressure, so that the oil will drain into the system. Once the 1 ounce of PAG oil is in the system, reinstall the Schrader valve. Now we'll vacuum down the pressure in the system. Use a manifold pressure gauge set. Attach both the high and low pressure hoses to the ports. They're different sizes, so they only go on one way. Then, attach the yellow vacuum line to your vacuum pump. Rotate the gauge so that they are open, meaning you're sucking air out of the AC system. If your manifold pressure gauge system can go negative, run the vacuum until the low pressure side reads -25. Otherwise, just run the vacuum for about 15 minutes. After running for about 15 minutes, turn off the pump and close the manifold gauge. Now we're ready to add the refrigerant. Remove the yellow line from the vacuum and install the needle valve. Make sure the needle valve is fully retracted, counterclockwise. Then, screw it onto the can of refrigerant. With the manifold gauge closed, pierce the can with the needle valve and back it out about 3/4 of a turn. Then, open the manifold gauge. Shake the can and change its orientation. It seems like holding it horizontally works well. You can hear refrigerant seeping into the system. With 1 can of refrigerant added, both the low and high pressure side reading is about 90 psi. Close the low pressure gauge. Retract the needle valve and unscrew the empty can of refrigerant. Now, start the vehicle. The low pressure side is reading about 5 psi and the high pressure side is reading about 100. They're both in the green, which means low. Inside the vehicle, make sure the AC is turned on. I'm getting cool air from the passenger side and hot air from the driver's side. This is indicative of low refrigerant, so let's go ahead and add the second can. If we look at the compressor clutch, it is spinning, so that's a good sign. Here's some video from earlier with a non-spinning clutch, so you can see what it looks like when it's not engaged. If the AC in your car is on, and the clutch does not engage, that means the refrigerant is way too low. Okay, so to add the second can of refrigerant, start with the car running. Make sure the gauge valve is still closed. Screw the needle valve onto the can of refrigerant. And back it out about 3/4 of a turn. Shake the can and open up the low pressure side gauge. Continue shaking the can and changing the orientation. You can hear the AC clutch engage. To check the pressure, you may need to close the valve and read the dials. Continue adding refrigerant until both the high and low pressure gauges are in the blue. Now, we're in the bottom of the blue for both, so continue adding. Now we're near the middle of the blue on both, 32 psi on low and 180 psi on high. Inside the car, we're getting ice-cold air from both the driver's side and passenger's side. Looking at the RPMs, it's about 800. And when the AC compressor engages, we get a momentary dip of 25 RPM and then it goes right back to 800. So that's working well. Turn off the car and remove the pressure gauge lines from the low and high ports. They may spray a little from what is left in the lines, which is unavoidable. And that concludes the job. I hope you found this video helpful. If so, please like and subscribe. It helps me immensely, and I really appreciate it. All the best to you. Good luck, and thanks for watching.